What's up? Welcome to episode 15 on A Better Way to Heal podcast. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to talk about a topic that has been brought up to me numerous times lately. And so when I hear questions from all of you, I know that there's so many more people even that need to hear this. So today is all about your microbiome, aka the bacteria in your gut, and its effects on your hormones. And today, because most of my audience, most of you beauties out there listening right now are women, I am going to primarily focus on estrogen and some other things, but men out there, like, you can take this to heart because testosterone is affected in similar ways. So I'm going to bring up some topics about birth control pills and the risks of those, and actually why birth control pills actually cause some more issues in your gut. Maybe you didn't realize this, but also it's also focusing on not just the sex hormones, the estrogens and the testosterones, but it's also things like your thyroid. It's also things like your serotonin, your norepi, your dopamine, all those things that help regulate your mood, your level of, if you have any anxiety, depression, all the things. Your gut also affects your metabolism. I have questions just tonight, actually, right before I recorded this episode. How can I boost my metabolism? When I said, heal your gut. Well, what do you mean? Help me. So here I am. I'm here to help. Your gut is also your immunity. So we can focus on one aspect of health, but just know that all these other things come along for the ride, and it's an amazing thing. So balancing your hormones, especially you ladies out there, no matter if you are young and just starting out on the journey of all of this, or if you are thinking of, I need to take replacement therapy as I head into menopause. No, you don't. You just need to heal your gut so you can deal with all the hormones that are in your body. So what happens in our bodies, men and women, is that the bacteria that we have in our bodies can either help us or hurt us on this journey of breaking down the hormones in our body. So hormones are produced in the gut and are used, okay? Our body uses them as they need to be used. And then once they're done being used, they get excreted. And what the bacteria does in our body, and the different parts of our body where these hormones are produced, not all of them are in the gut, but a lot of them are, is the bacteria helps us break down hormones. If we are riddled with what's called dysbiosis, or an overload of bad bacteria, you might have heard the term candida. If our microbiome, which is the whole population of the bacteria in our body, is in a negative state, we're going to have a hard time breaking down those hormones. And when they can't be broken down and transferred to our liver to excrete, to get out of our bodies, we actually get an overload. So maybe you have heard the term estrogen dominance. Okay, so there's so many symptoms of estrogen dominance. It can be decrease in libido, anxiety, depression, lack of period, bloating. It can cause, nausea, headaches. It can create low energy, infertility, and it can even contribute to cancer. So for myself, my story, why I'm so passionate about gut health, and especially this aspect of gut health, the hormone, is that what I went through, I now can say, okay, that is exactly what was going on in my body. So I went 4 years with amenorrhea, which is a lack of having your period. About a year after I started it for the very first time, I actually stopped having it. Now, I was a runner. Okay, so that's very common in endurance athletes. I was a thin 16-year-old. So I just went 4 years without it. However, knowing what I know now, I was also eating all the foods that my body was not actually able to really digest, especially gluten. I saw a nutritionist that said, I had a huge gluten sensitivity, and I just did not want to, I wasn't at a place, like I was an endurance athlete, I was a runner, especially when I started doing marathons and all the things, I was like, I need to do a lot of carbs. I need to do the pastas and the breads and the bagels and all of the things, the cereal. And back then there was really no options for gluten-free. So it took me a while to actually really realize that I needed to make this change. And I needed to do that to heal my gut and be able to not only heal my gut, but allow that to heal my other organs that were suffering. Because I had so much inflammation in my body, I had bad bacteria because I was not eating healthy foods. So I was not able to metabolize my hormones. I was getting migraines. I got migraines from the time I was 8 years old. So this is, when you're talking about gut issues and you are, primarily the people that follow me are in their mid 20s to their mid 40s, women especially. And they think, oh my God, like, okay, now that I know the secret to healing my gut, or what, you're telling me to do, it should be instantaneous. Okay, I started having symptoms of gut health at 8 years old. I didn't start being interested in fixing it until I was like in my mid 20s, maybe even my later 20s, to be honest with you. So when you take that, you're looking at maybe 20 years of damage. It's not going to fix itself overnight. So I say this for you not to feel hopeless, but I say this to you to say it's possible, but you have to realize that your body will heal, but you just have to be patient with it. And if you want to see it happen quicker, you need to be more in line with the process. You need to be, I don't always like to use the word strict, but like you may have to really hone in on whole foods, getting rid of those food groups that aren't serving you. You have to figure out how badly do you want to heal your body. So it's possible. Okay. And it wasn't an overnight thing for me. I loved what I was eating and I love what I eat now. It was just a transition from getting from that starting point to that end point. So it's figuring out where do you want to be and working your way back. Like what steps are going to get you there? A girl that I follow is like, make it a mile marker. Set those mile markers. And she says 3 of them to start to get you to that goal, whatever that first goal might be. And how do you get there? So you reverse engineer it and you break it into smaller steps. So it's not overwhelming. But in order to heal any aspect, I'm talking about hormones today, but any aspects, you're looking at the gut. People that come to me, I'm like, we got to heal your gut. What? Like everyone's like, what are you talking about? Gut it's everything. It is like the powerhouse of your body. Like, I know it's called the second brain, but sometimes I just want to say, I don't know. Like, I think it needs to be the first, because if this is a mess, the brain is a mess. So if we can heal the gut first, everything else just falls into place. And it's just so freaking amazing. And I love it. And I could talk about it all day. So healing your guts will help you balance out estrogen. And what does that mean? For a lot of women, that is the reason why you're not losing weight, because you are you have so much estrogen in your body, you're holding on to fat cells, all the things. So again, it's getting on a good probiotic, which there are specific strains to help with hormone balance. Just getting good bacteria in is so important. There is a benefit to putting good bacteria in your body because it will reduce inflammation, that's what's happening is if you have inflammation in your gut, you're going to have inflammation in your reproductive organs. So if you're listening and you are having infertility issues, you're having endometriosis, you're having polycystic ovary disease, these are all symptoms of inflammation and or you're having estrogen dominance. So what are the risks? Okay, there are so many risks of taking a birth control pill. And I do this, I say these things because this is something that it is not just some innocent little pill that you, your daughter, your friends are taking. This is causing major issues for you. And some of those issues are things you think you're fixing when you take it. Okay? So number one, I'm going to give you 7 reasons why I would highly recommend working your way off the birth control pill. And obviously, if you're using it for birth control, I obviously will be telling you, you need to be using another method. I'm not promoting pregnancy here, but I am promoting health, and I'm promoting gut health, and I'm overall health. So the pill increases your risk of cancer. Okay, so if you're having an issue metabolizing estrogen on your own, you are going to have a problem with this added estrogen. Your body's not going to know what to do with it. And especially because it is not natural to your body, it's actually going to cause even more inflammation in your body. The pill screws up your guts, okay? So we all know how antibiotics affect the digestive tract. So we also need to realize that taking the pill is also very much a problem for the guts. So you have your hormone receptors in the digestive tract, and with taking the pill, it can actually increase your levels of candida and yeast overgrowth. So the pill is not necessarily going to help overall with what is going on as far as the hormone balance in your body. I know people that take the pill and get the headaches. That's what's happening there because you're getting that dysbiosis happening. So when you're taking the pill, you may have more yeast infections, which can lead to, like I said, the migraines, infertility, fibromyalgia, endometriosis, psoriasis, which is a skin condition, which is caused by inflammation and is directly linked to gut health, PMS, depression, and digestive disorders. So when you're throwing off the gut, you're throwing off the bacteria in the gut, you're going to have trouble digesting your food because the bacteria, if you have the good bacteria, helps you break down your food. Depression because you are throwing off like serotonin, dopamine, the neurotransmitters that are affected by your gut. I wrote some of this stuff down. Plus your gut health also alters hormone regulation and your ability to detox. So like I said, you get that estrogen dominance. So it is not a great option. The pill lowers testosterone. It can decrease libido. So we don't have a lot of testosterone, but we do have some. So it decreases the natural levels that you already have in your body, and it does have functions in your body. We don't need, a male dose of it, but we do need it for certain things in our body. Mood disorders, so like that just comes back to the reason the cause of the mood disorder is because it's causing inflammation in the gut. It's causing you to have more bad bacteria, and that stress which raises cortisol, is what lowers things like serotonin, things like dopamine, things like GABA that calm you down, norepi. If you know anything about any kind of antidepressants, you know a lot of them deal with serotonin, but any of those four are the most common. Increases your risk for blood clots, and also can cause nutrient deficiency. So what happens is your body actually needs more of certain vitamins to metabolize the hormones in the pill. The liver requires extra amounts of B vitamins like B2, B6, B12, folic acid, vitamin C, vitamin E, magnesium, selenium, and zinc. Two of the most common deficiencies that also happen when you have bad bacteria are magnesium and B12, which magnesium is needed for all of the energy reactions that you have in your body. And it can actually delay fertility. So it all comes back to the same thing. Okay, it's causing inflammation. It's causing a push towards dysbiosis because you're having more candida, you're having more yeast in your body. So a lot of women and girls who are taking hormone replacements, i.e. birth control, and women that take the hormone replacement later in life have more UTIs. They have just more reoccurring infections because of the overgrowth. So as much as maybe you are taking the birth control for your skin, maybe you are irregular, which is why I took it. I wasn't having my period. The pill is not the first option, okay? Because of all these issues. And I just don't think it's a good option in general for most women because of all the issues. And if it is, I do caution you how long that you are on it for. Okay, I realize that there's going to be people listening to this. It's like, oh, okay, so you're just going to just allow people, no one's going to be on birth control and we're just all going to have all these unwanted children. No. This is called a responsibility for your own health. And you make the decision. It's a risk benefit, obviously. But then if you're going to take it, then you best be doing a lot of things to help with your gut health. You best be taking a lot of probiotics. You best be eating the wholest of whole foods that you've ever dreamed of. You're still going to have issues, okay? You're still going to have issues, but you need to be doing everything else basically perfectly. So if you can do that and you think you do it. But I honestly, this is just to let you know the birth control pills, the hormone replacements are not without the risk. Now, there's some of the risks that they talk about, the heart disease, the blood clots, but all of these other things, okay? There's so many risks with it. I want you to be prepared. I want you to have the education and the knowledge. And it's one thing to have the knowledge, but to actually put it into work, into play, that is even more important to me. So there are so many things you can do to heal your gut. Like I said, taking some good probiotics, which do your research. I'd be happy to share with you what I use with myself and my clients. Not only taking the probiotics, but you also need to be feeding those good bacteria or they're just going to die off anyway, especially when you're first implementing, when they're fighting their way against all of the bad. You got to feed it with a prebiotic. You got to feed it with fiber, giving it a good source of plant-based protein. You got to be feeding it the right things. So this is an education that you really want to, if this is hitting you in all the right places, that you just really want to hone in on. It is so important. And if I can help you in any way, please reach out to me. I'm so thankful you're listening to this podcast today for one reason or another. And maybe you're sitting there with kind of an aha moment of like, wow, I've been experiencing some really bad issues lately. And I've been trying to figure out what's going on in my body, and I just not sure what it is. And if you're on birth control, it could be that. So if any of this really resonated with you, definitely it's there for a reason. So thank you so much for being here. I hope that you got value from this. And if you did, what you could do for me, and I would love you forever, is subscribe to my podcast and give me a review. It takes 60 seconds at the most out of your day, and I would be so appreciative. It would mean the world to me. And feel free to share this with someone you know that might need to hear this. So thank you for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.